Today we are going to perform experiment via virtual lab platform, and the aim of this experiment is to plot input and output characteristics of BJT in the common emitter configuration. I would like to thank team of IIT Kharagpur for providing the virtual lab, and we are able to demonstrate experiment to our students easily via this interactive platform. The objectives of this experiment are: at the end of the experiment, the student should be able to explain what is the structure of bipolar junction transistor, what are the different bipolar junction transistor configurations, what are the different regions of operation, as well as student will be able to plot the input and output characteristics of common emitter configuration and explain all the observations related to the characteristics. I would like to give you some theory background about the introduction to BJT and the input and the output characteristics of common emitter configuration. How we define transistor? Transistor consists of two words, transfer and resistor. Means there is the transfer of signal from the low resistance input circuit to the high resistance output circuit, and when the signal gets traveled from the low resistance input to the high resistance output, signal is said to be amplified. Amplification means boosting up of a signal, means making the weak signal as a strong signal. There are two types of transistor. One is called as the bipolar transistor and the another is called as the unipolar transistor. The basic difference between bipolar and unipolar is that in the case of bipolar transistor, the current conduction is due to two types of charge carriers, majority as well as minority charge carriers. But in the case of unipolar transistor, current is due to only one type of charge carriers, specifically the majority charge carriers. Example of bipolar transistor is BJT, that stands for bipolar junction transistor, and the example of unipolar transistor is FET, that stands for field effect transistor. There are two types of bipolar junction transistor. One is the NPN and the another is PNP. So basically transistor is a 3-terminal and 2-junction semiconductor device in which 3 terminals are emitter, base and collector, and there are 2 junctions, one junction in between emitter and base called as EB junction and the another junction between collector and base called as CB junction. These are the symbols of NPN and the PNP BJT. The difference between these two symbols can be seen, like in the case of NPN BJT, direction of current is outward, and in the case of PNP BJT, direction of current is inward, and the current is always marked on the emitter terminal. And what are the basic difference between the three terminals of BJT? Function of emitter is to emit or supply charge carriers. Function of collector is to collect charge carriers. And the function of base is to bypass charge carriers from emitter to collector. If we compare the doping profile, emitter is heavily doped because it has to supply charge carriers. Collector is moderately doped as it is collecting charge carriers. And the base is always lightly doped because it has to bypass charge carriers. And if the doping of base that is heavy, that means more charge carriers will recombine in the base and less number of charge carriers will reach the collector. But the main aim of bipolar junction transistor is to amplify signal, and for amplification most of the charge carriers supplied by emitter should reach collector. That's why the base is kept with the light doping as well as the width of base is also kept small. Whereas emitter is having medium width and the collector is made with the large width because collector has to collect charge carriers and the high heat gets dissipated in this area. So to dissipate high heat, the size of collector that should be made large. And if we compare the biasing, then emitter should be forward biased because it has to supply charge carriers, so repulsion force need to be applied here. If emitter is n-type, then that should be connected with the negative potential. So that is the indication of forward biasing, and the repulsion force is provided so that the charge carriers gets emitted from this terminal. And the function of collector is to collect charge carriers, so it need to be reverse biased so that the attraction force is there to collect the charge carriers. And the biasing of base depends upon emitter and the collector. The position of emitter is usually represented as left hand section, collector is the right hand section, whereas the base is the middle section. BJT can be operated in the three configuration, that is common base, common emitter and the common collector configuration. Now the question is, why one terminal is made common? The reason is because transistor is a three terminal device. Three terminals are emitter, base and collector. But the role of transistor is to amplify signal. So amplification means boosting up of a signal, that is making the weak signal as a strong signal. So for applying the weak signal we need two terminal, and to get the amplified signal again we need the two terminals. So in total we need four terminal, two for providing input signal and two for taking the amplified output signal. So as in the transistor there are three terminal and we need four terminal in the amplifier. So that's why one terminal of BJT that is made common, that can be base, that can be emitter or that can be collector. If we make base common, that configuration is called as common base configuration. If we make emitter common, that configuration is called as common emitter. And similarly, if we make collector terminal common, that configuration is called as common collector configuration. So here we are going to discuss about the common emitter configuration, and before going for the actual discussion about the characteristics of common emitter configuration, we must be clear about the different regions of operation. So basically BJT can work in the active region, saturation region or the cutoff region, and the fourth region is called as the inverted region, that is just studied for the analysis purpose. In the active region, EB junction is forward biased and the CB junction is reverse biased. Whereas in the case of saturation region, both the junctions are forward biased, and in the cutoff region, both the junctions are reverse biased. And inverted region is the inverted of active region, in which case the EB junction is reverse biased and the CB junction is forward biased. And if we see the application of all the regions of operation, active region that is used for amplification, the saturation region and the cutoff region combination that is utilized for BJT as a switch. In the switch there are two states, either the switch is on or the switch is off. So saturation region we can use as an on switch and the cutoff region we can use as an off switch, and the inverted region that is just studied for the analysis purpose. So here we have the common emitter configuration, and in this configuration we can see here emitter terminal that is made common and that is connected to ground. Common means that is acting on both sides, on the input side as well as on the output side. So left hand side of this emitter that can be seen as input circuit, and the right hand side of this emitter that can be seen as output circuit. That means the base is there on the input side and the collector is there on the output side. And we can see here the input signal is applied between base and the emitter, and the load resistor is connected between collector and emitter. So weak input signal is applied here at base terminal, and the amplified signal that is measured across the collector terminal. And we have applied two type of biasing potential. The one is to make EB junction forward biased and the another is to make CB junction reverse biased. So as base is P type of material, and for forward biasing that should be connected to positive of supply. So obviously emitter is connected to negative of supply because emitter is N type of material, and for forward biasing N type of material should be connected with the negative of supply. And if we see the collector terminal, collector need to be reverse biased and collector is N type of material, so that is connected with the positive potential of the battery. So when we need to plot the characteristics, so there are two type of characteristics. The one is called as the input characteristics and the another is called as the output characteristics. So before plotting the characteristics of common emitter configuration, we must be clear about four parameters. The one parameter is the input current, second parameter is input voltage, third parameter is output current, and the fourth parameter is output voltage. Because when we draw the input characteristics, that is a plot between input voltage and input current, keeping the output voltage constant. And when we plot the output characteristics, there is a plot between output voltage and output current, keeping the input current constant. So we can see in this diagram, as input terminal is base, so input current will be IB, and the output terminal is collector, so output current will be IC, and the input voltage that is applied between base and emitter, that is VBE, and the output voltage that is applied between collector and emitter, that is VCE. So we have two graphs, VBE versus IB, keeping VCE constant, and the second graph, that is VCE versus IC, keeping IB constant. So here we can see the input characteristics of common emitter configuration, that is a plot between VBE and IB, keeping VCE constant. So if we are putting VCE constant, so we have one curve, and let's say we change the value of VCE, then we have the another curve, and if we further change the value of VCE, then we have the another curve. So in this graph we can see here a family of three curves for the three different values of VCE. So what are the important observation regarding the input characteristics? The first very important observation is characteristics are similar to the forward bias PN junction diode, and below the knee voltage current is small, and after the knee voltage there is a sharp rise in the current level. And if we calculate the input resistance for the common emitter configuration, and that is reciprocal of slope of the input characteristics. The slope can be taken as perpendicular divided by base, that is delta IB divided by delta VBE, and the reciprocal of this slope becomes delta VBE divided by delta IB, and VCE is kept constant. So if we compare the input resistance of common emitter with the input resistance of common base, then we can see in the numerator we have same parameter, but in the denominator, in the case of common base configuration, we have variation in emitter current, but in the case of common emitter we have the variation in the base current, and we know that the variation in base current is comparatively small as compared to variation in the emitter current, because base current lies in the range microamperes and the emitter current lies in the range milliamperes. So if the base current variations are comparatively small, that means the input resistance will be comparatively high. So input resistance for common emitter is greater than input resistance for common base configuration. And as we increase the value of VCE, the graph is shifting towards the right side. Now the question is why it is happening. So to answer this question, we have taken one example. Let's say we are taking one situation that the VCE here is 5 volt, and in the another diagram we can see VCE that is 20 volt. So if we are applying VCE 5 volt, let's say across the CB junction we have this much of depletion layer present. So this is the width of depletion layer, and some of the portion of base is occupied by depletion layer. So rest portion of base is having width that is called as W1. So W1 is the effective base width without the depletion layer. Now let's say we increase VCE from 5 volt to 20 volt. So obviously when the VCE is increased, then the effect on VCB that also increases, because VCE is VCB minus VEB. The relative difference of voltage between collector and base and emitter and base will provide us the relative difference between collector and emitter. So the voltage between collector and base that also increases when VCE increases. So when VCB increases, obviously the reverse bias across the CB junction that also gets increased. That means the more depletion layer that is occupied in the base, so obviously effective base width that is going to decrease from W1 to W2. So when effective base width is becoming less, and we have discussed that emitter is emitting charge carriers, base is bypassing charge carriers, and collector is collecting charge carriers. So when emitter is emitting charge carriers, in the case number 1, W1 is the effective base width, and in the case number 2, the W2 is the effective base width. So when emitter is emitting charge carriers, some of the charge carriers will recombine in the base. So if effective base width is more, that means more recombination will take place in base. But in the second case, as the effective base width is becoming less, so obviously there will be less recombination occurring in the base. That means the base current level that is going down. And if the level of base current that is going down, that is the indication that the graph is shifted towards the right side. So we can compare the first curve and the second curve for a constant value of VBE. So to take the constant value of VBE, we have taken here a vertical line, and we can compare the two currents, that is IB1 and IB2, for the values VCE1 and VCE2, and we can see here VCE2 is more as compared to VCE1, whereas the base current in the second curve is comparatively less as compared to base current in the curve 1. So IB2 is less as compared to IB1. Under the condition VCE2 is more as compared to VCE1. That's why the graph is shifted towards the right side, and this effect is called as the early effect or the base width modulation. Now we need to plot the output characteristics, and that is a plot between output voltage VCE and output current IC, keeping the input current, that is IB, constant. So here we have the output characteristics, and we have discussed that the complete characteristics are divided into three regions of operation: active region, saturation region, and the cutoff region. And in the active region, the equation of current is defined as IC is beta times IB plus ICEO. So we can go through this derivation, and initially we have taken the equation of current for the common base configuration, that is a standard current equation. So we have put here the relation between emitter current, base current, and collector current, that is IE is equal to IB plus IC. So we take it as equation number 2 and put the value of IE from equation 2 to equation 1. So when we put this value, so we get IC is equal to alpha times IB plus IC plus ICBO. And when we open the bracket, so we have IC is equal to alpha IB plus alpha IC plus ICBO. So IC is on the left side and IC is also on the right side. So we can take IC common. So we can move this parameter alpha IC on the left side. So this becomes IC into 1 minus alpha, that is equal to alpha IB plus ICBO, and that gives the relation IC is equal to alpha divided by 1 minus alpha IB plus ICBO divided by 1 minus alpha, and alpha divided by 1 minus alpha is beta, and what is 1 upon 1 minus alpha? That can be written as 1 plus beta. So we have IC is equal to beta IB plus 1 plus beta times ICBO, and we can assume this relation, that is 1 plus beta times ICBO, as ICEO. So finally we have this equation, and this is the equation of current defined in the active region of operation. And another observation is, in the case of common base configuration output characteristics, the curves were almost flat, but here we can see the small slope is there in the case of common emitter configuration. The reason is there the variation was alpha parameter, and here the variation is beta, and the variation in beta is comparatively large as compared to variation in alpha. That's why the slope is coming in the curve. And in the cutoff region, the beta IB parameter that becomes 0, and we left with only leakage current, that is IC is equal to ICEO. So what are the apparatus we are going to use to perform this experiment? If we perform this experiment physically in the lab, then we can make the connection on the breadboard with the help of bipolar junction transistor BC547, microammeter for measuring the base current, then milliammeter for measuring the collector current. 2 voltmeters are required. One is to measure the voltage between base and ammeter, and the another is to measure the voltage between collector and ammeter. And obviously on the breadboard we are making the connection with the help of connecting wires, and we need two regulated power supply. One is to make EB junction forward bias, and the another to make CB junction reverse bias. And here we are performing the experiment via the virtual lab environment, and this is the experimental setup where we have ammeter terminal common, and one ammeter is employed on the base terminal to measure base current, and this is basically microammeter because base current lies in the range microampere, and the another ammeter we have employed on the collector terminal to measure the collector current that lies in the range milliampere, and we have employed 2 voltmeter. One is to measure the voltage between base and ammeter, and the another is to measure the voltage between collector and ammeter, and two regulated power supplies are connected here. With the help of rheostat we can vary these two voltages. The one power supply is connected at base terminal designated as VBB, and the another power supply is connected at collector terminal designated as VCC. So here we have the steps to perform experiment. First of all, we need to visit the website mentioned here. Then we need to click on the list of experiment tab, and the list of experiments will be displayed on the screen where we can select this experiment, that is BJT common emitter characteristics. Then the complete detailed theory is given on the website, so we can go through the theory of experiment. Already I have demonstrated the theory of the experiment here also. So then we can read the procedure of experiment. Step by step procedure is given. Then we can go to the simulation tab, and in the simulation tab we have two parts. The one is the BJT input characteristics and the another is the BJT output characteristics. So in step number 7 we can go for the simulation of BJT input characteristics, and in the step number 8 we can go for the simulation of BJT output characteristics. So when we select the simulation for BJT input characteristics, so this will be the setup that will appear on the screen, and then we can click on this instruction tab and go for the simulation as per the guided instructions mentioned here. And finally we plot the input characteristics of common emitter configuration for the different values of VCE, and this is the expected input characteristics curve that already we have discussed. And when we go for the simulation for BJT output characteristics, then this will be the experimental setup that will appear on screen, and then we can go for the simulation as per the guided instruction mentioned here. And then finally we will plot the output characteristics of common emitter configuration for the different values of IB, and this is the expected output characteristics curve that we have discussed in the theory. So here is the procedure, and we need to follow this procedure to perform the experiment. Now it's time to move on to the website and perform the experiment step by step. Today we are going to perform experiment via the virtual lab platform, and the aim of this experiment is to plot the input characteristics of BJT in the common emitter configuration. So here is the experimental setup for the common emitter configuration of BJT, and we have taken the NPN BJT, and as it is operated in the common emitter configuration, so ammeter terminal is taken common and that will be connected to ground. The input is applied to base and the output is measured from collector. And to make the transistor to work in the active region of operation, the EB junction should be forward biased and the CB junction should be reverse biased. So base is on the input side and that need to be forward biased as it is NPN transistor. So base is P type of material. So to keep base emitter forward biased, the P type material of base that should be connected to positive terminal of the battery, and as emitter is N type of material, so that will be connected with the negative terminal of the battery. And as the collector is reverse biased and the collector is also the N type of material, so that should be connected with the positive of supply. So one supply is put at the base terminal, that is designated as VBB, and the another supply is put at the collector terminal and that is designated as VCC. And we have put here two rheostat, one rheostat to vary this potential VBB and second rheostat to vary this potential, that is VCC. And as we are plotting the input characteristics of BJT, so how we define input characteristics, that is a plot between the input voltage and input current, keeping the output voltage constant. So input voltage is measured between base and the emitter, and the input current is the base current because the input terminal is the base terminal. So input voltage is VBE and the input current is IB, and the output voltage is in between collector and emitter, that is VCE. So we need to have a plot between VBE and IB, keeping VCE constant. So let's start the experiment. So instructions are given here, and as per the guided instruction we need to follow the steps to perform this experiment. So first step is initially we have to keep the rheostat values at 1 ohm. This is the initialization of experimental setup. So we put RH1, that is rheostat 1, and the rheostat 2, that is RH2 at 1 ohm. Then after that we need to set the value of this VCE to some constant value, and for that purpose we need to vary the rheostat 2. So we vary the rheostat 2, observe the value of VCE here and choose one value of VCE that need to be kept constant. So let's change the value of this rheostat 2 and we see that the value of VCE is changing. So let it be 1 volt. So we have put VCE at 1 volt and that is taken the constant value. So for this constant value of VCE, now we change the value of VBE and accordingly IB changes. So how we change VBE? With the help of rheostat 1. So we vary the value of rheostat 1 and accordingly IB will change. We add it to table. Then we again change the value of VBE and add it to table. So for the different values of VBE, we have the different values of base current, and we keep on noting down all the values of VBE and IE in the table, and this table is called as the experimental table, and here we can see all the values, they are recorded in this table. Then we again increase the value of this VBE and accordingly IB is also changing. So we will have some readings so that we can plot the graph between VBE and IB like this. So we keep on increasing the value and accordingly we can see IB is also changing. And we can see here the complete experimental table is for VCE 1 volt. So for VCE constant at 1 volt, we varied the value of VBE with the help of rheostat 1 and accordingly the IB is changed, and the IB change IB variation that lies in the range microamperes. So here we have taken the set of total 19 readings, and based on all these readings in the experimental table, now we can plot the characteristics, and the characteristics is in between VBE and IB, keeping VCE constant, and this characteristics curve is called as the input characteristics curve. So we click on plot and we see that here we have the VI characteristics of common emitter transistor, and this characteristics curve is called as the input characteristics curve, plotted between input voltage VBE and the input current, that is IB, keeping VCE constant. So here we can mention for the complete curve VCE, that is put at 1 volt. And we can observe that the characteristics are similar to the forward biased PN junction diode. And below the knee voltage, current is small, and after the knee voltage, there is a sharp rise in the current level. So this is all about the input characteristics curve of BJT in the common emitter configuration. Now we can take the printout of this curve or take the screenshot of this curve that is drawn here, and after that now we can clear all the readings and change the value of VCE instead of 1 volt to, let's say, 2 volt or 3 volt. And for the second constant value of VCE in the experimental table, we will have the another set of readings between VBE and IB. So that will provide us the another curve. So in this way we can draw a family of 3 curves so that we can have the observation that with the change in the value of VCE, what is the change in the graph, how the graph varies with respect to change in the constant value of VCE. So we can clear the readings and again we can restart the experiment with the same step, like initially both the rheostat values, they are put at 1 ohm. Then we want to put it constant to some another value instead of 1 volt, let's say 2 volts. So we vary rheostat 2 and we set it to, let's say, 2 volt. So here we can see the VCE is put at 2 volt. Now we keep on varying VBE again, and accordingly IB will change. Then we have the another set of curve, another set of reading and the another set of curve. Like with the help of rheostat 1, we vary the value of VBE and accordingly IB changes, and we add it to table like this. So we keep on increasing this value and keep on noting down the value of IB, and we have the another set of reading like this. So here we have the another set of readings. So we can again click on the plot and we have the another curve, and this is the second curve that is plotted for VCE 2 volt. And similarly we can have the another set of reading at VCE 3 volt, and we have the another curve here. So in this way we can have 3 curves, and we can see the variation in the curve with respect to change in the value of VCE. So this is all about the input characteristics of BJT in the common emitter configuration. Thank you. So in this way we can plot the input characteristics of BJT in the common emitter configuration. And here we have taken the 3 set of readings. One set of reading that is recorded at VCE 1 volt. Then the another set of reading for VCE 4 volt. And the third set of reading for VCE 8 volt. As we have discussed that with the change in VCE, the level of current that goes down. But this is not happening here in this experimental setup, but actually when we perform this experiment by making connection on the breadboard in the lab physically, then we see that for a constant value of VBE. If VCE changes, if VCE is increased, then the level of base current that should go down and the graph should shift in the right side. So this is the important observation that we can see when we perform this experiment physically in the lab. And this is the characteristic curve that we have plotted between VBE and IB and keeping the output voltage VCE constant. And this is the procedure for BJT common emitter output characteristics. And now again we move on to the website and perform the experiment step by step. So here we are going to perform experiment via virtual lab platform, and the aim of this experiment is to plot the output characteristics of BJT in the common emitter configuration. And this is the experimental setup, and we have discussed about this experimental setup as we are plotting the output characteristics. So that is a plot between the output voltage, that is VCE, and the output current, that is IC, keeping the input current IB constant. So we have to keep IB constant and we have to plot a graph between VCE and IC. Then for the another set of curve, we need to change the value of IB to some another constant value. Then we again change the value of VCE and keep on noting down the value of IC, so that we have the another set of readings between VCE and IC, and we have the another curve, and same way we can go for the third curve by changing the value of IB again constant to some another value. So based on this we can have a family of 3 curves, and then we can go for the observation regarding the output characteristics of BJT in the common emitter configuration. So as per the guided instructions mentioned here, we can follow the steps and we can perform this experiment. So initially we have to set the value of rheostat 1 and rheostat 2 at 1 ohm, so that we change from these two knobs, and the rheostat 1 and 2, they are set at 1 ohm. Then after that we need to set the value of this IB to some constant value, and that we can vary with the help of this rheostat 1. So we increase the value of this rheostat 1 and we observe that the IB is changing. So we can put IB to some constant value. Let's say we can put it at some value, that is, let's say 14.5 microamperes. So we can set the IB value at 14.5 microampere. Then we keep on changing the value of VCE with the help of rheostat 2 and keep on noting down the value of IC, so that we can have plot between VCE and IC for this constant value of IB, that is 14.5 microampere. So how we change value of VCE? With the help of this rheostat 2. So with the help of this rheostat 2, we increase the value of VCE, and accordingly the IC changes and we add it to table. So increase this value, add it to table, increase this value, add it to table. In this way we can take a set of readings by changing the value of VCE with the help of rheostat 2, and accordingly the IC is also changing. So we can take the set of 10 to 15 readings as per the incremental change you are applying, like this. So here we have the set of reading, and total we have taken the 16 readings. Now based on these 16 readings between VCE and IC in the experimental table for the constant value of base current at 14.5 microampere, we can go for the plot. When we click on the plot, so here we have the VI curve, that is a graph between the output voltage, that is VCE, and the output current, that is IC, keeping the input current, that is IB, constant. So we can mention here for this curve, the IB is put constant at 14.5 microampere, and already in the theory we have the discussion about all the observations related to the output characteristics. Now what we can do, we can take the screenshot of this graph, or we can have the printout of this graph, and now we can go for the another set of reading, and for that purpose we have to clear all these observations. And rheostat 1 and 2, they are again put at 1 ohm, that is initialization. Now we can change the value of IB constant to some another value. Instead of 14.5 microampere, let's change the value of IB to some another constant value. Let's say we are putting it at 20.43 microampere. So we can put IB constant at 20.43 microampere. Now we again change the value of VCE, and accordingly IC will change, and we have the another set of reading. So we increase the value of this VCE, and accordingly IC changes, and we have the another set of reading. And again we can take the set of 10 to 15 readings like this. So here we have the another set of reading, and based on the set of reading we have the another plot. So here we can see this is the second plot. Now we can have the another set of reading and the third plot, and we can compare the family of three curves as per the observation discussed. And this is all about the output characteristics of BJT in the common emitter configuration. Thank you. So in this way we can plot the output characteristics of BJT in the common emitter configuration. And we have taken the three set of reading. The one set of reading that is corresponding to base current 14.5 microampere. Second set of reading is for the base current 40.55 microampere, and the third set of reading for the base current 80.50 microampere. And we can see if we are increasing the value of base current, obviously there is the change in the collector current. For a constant value of VCE, if we see, like if VCE is 6.5 volt for all the three cases, if the base current is changing from 14.5 microampere to 40.55 microampere and further to 80.50 microampere, there is incremental change in collector current also, from 55.20 milliampere to 258.2 milliampere, and further to 722.3 it should be milliampere collector current, right? So we have plotted the three curves for the three different values of IB, and the incremental change in the collector current that can be seen in the three different graph. And these are the references used to demonstrate this experiment. Thank you.